He said he wasn't gonna be here. I thought he was teasing. No, is Will not gonna be here?
He's not gonna be here today.
Sorry, it's not. I thought it was teasing here. Oh, well, I'm hanging out waiting for him.
Yeah. I got copies. Birthday. You figured he was.
Yeah.
That's good. I think he'll be a lot. There. So
Are you ready?
yeah, they've got a really good middle.
All right, hello, everybody. We're gonna get this started. So we'll roll call the order. Roll call. Will is absent today. Well, so let's pray, salute the flag, and we'll get started. Lord God, thank you so much for giving us the ability to gather and do the people's business. Lord, just watch over us, guide our decisions and guide our thoughts. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Pledge
allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, number 4, citizens comment. They know. Moving on. Meeting minutes.
a motion to approve the minutes.
And I'll say it. Say aye. Contract between the sheriff's office and redemption medical.
I don't have that contract.
We've got a copy of it.
Yeah.
I guess I could start this off. Cynthia, is owner,
Vice President.
vice president of Redemption, which currently a turnkey, which is our health provider in the jail. We've talked several times, I think it's gonna be such a better deal than what we've been getting. It's actually a little bit cheaper. The mental health part is gonna be out of the world because their doctor is really sharp. And you're also gonna have a lady that's gonna actually come in and do evaluations and stuff. Right now, a lot of our stuff is on the pad. The medication that we're providing is killing us. I mean, as far, and they've got a little better plan, I think, on operating how that will work. And on how the charges are on it. There's just a whole lot of upside versus the other. There's not very many providers that come to the jail. Turnkey's been pretty much the only one. We're lucky they got Cleveland County, Pot County. They're wanting us because we're close. What other county you have?
Right now, we just want to take over a little at a time. So we took over Redemption Correctional Healthcare Solutions. We formed in February of last year. I partnered with Dr. Patrick Cody. He and I worked in the emergency room together for nearly 30 years. We also brought on Sean Lauderdale, who is been the chief commander at MSTAT in Norman, a paramedic for 30 years as well. We took over Cleveland County in July the 1st. They had been under turnkey for about 12 years. And in the last 3 years prior to us taking over, they had 11 deaths in a jail. So we took over in that short time period. We've had 0 deaths, 0 suicides. We contain all psychiatric in-house unless we cannot. And then we partnered with Griffin and Red Rock, and they will do an emergency evaluation online. We have psychiatric governance 24 hours a day, 365, and that is exactly how your medical will be run as well. When I met with Kevin, what I found was the county is really paying excessive amounts of money for medical services. It's a huge liability for the county. We also have collected the money, which is in the Oklahoma State statutes, that inmates are responsible for the care. From July when we took over until March of this year for Cleveland County, which is a 600-bed inmate facility, we collected a little over $50,000 from inmates alone. We cut their budget of $120,000 a year in medication down to about $50,000. And it's just a better system. We have a full psychiatric provider and a nurse. And for a jail this small, it appears the county is paying close to $112,000 a year for your psychiatric services, which you're only getting 2 hours a week. So your math, they're charging you $1,100 an hour for your mental health services. I have reviewed that contract and you are supposed to be getting quite significantly more on the mental health side, which I did not see any of that, nor has any of that been reported by Melanie or Kevin. So we have a rule. I was born and raised here down in Noble, Oklahoma. And so we are taking on smaller jails that we think we can provide a much better service for. And we want to stay local. We will not grow like Smoky has because we can provide a better service at a better rate. You guys do not have, I'm not sure that you've had an in-house provider in quite some time. I will be coming to the jail like I do Cleveland County and making in-person visits and taking care of the inmates there. I understand your detention staff is administering medications. That really should not be done. It should be done by a nurse. We're gonna provide that for you.
The other thing that was pretty nice too, they're willing to work the days, like right now, like Monday through Friday. And I think there's a time that we can stagger that. I think Sundays would be a good day because weekends, it seems like Saturdays, we always seem like everybody ends up getting arrested on a Saturday. So it would be really nice to be able to check them out on a Sunday versus a Monday, because Monday is when everybody usually has to go to court. And you, at the place of the madhouse, you know, you've got, you know, 3 meals a day, you're moving people over here, you're transporting folks back and forth. I think the Sunday would be a huge advantage to us, you know? And then on the medical, the mental health part, which I thought was interesting. Everybody that's been treated now that gets medication on the same medication.
Correct.
Yeah, you know, I'm not really sure. I don't know if I believe that. You know, I don't know if that's the best. I don't think there's been enough focus on really trying to figure out what their problem is to try to find the right thing. I think it's kind of like blood pressure medicine. You know, if anyone's had blood pressure medicine, I mean, there's a lot of different flavors out there, and every one of them gives you different side effects, you know? I think we're gonna actually be able to do a lot better job with what we're gonna be getting than what we've got. I'm willing to take the chance. I mean, I think it's a huge opportunity. I think we're very fortunate that they're wanting to take our small facility. So I'm in. So it's up to you guys to, I guess, to vote on that, but that's.
We partnered with, a lot of, like we partnered with Brian White. I don't know if any of you know what that is, but that is where HIV medications come out of. HIV medications for one inmate run about anywhere between $6,000 to $8,000 a month, and your county paid for that. You can get those for free, which we partnered with OU Health and the Brian White program. Clinton County does not pay for those medications. In Vega, which is a long-acting injection, I wrote away for a grant from Johnson and Johnson. We get those injections for free. We're allowed 4 samples a month. We use them in-house and we're able to take them. So if an inmate here needed them, we can get those samples shipped here. So I get 4 samples, Dr. Cody gets 4 samples, our site guy gets 4. And so it's really been a good program. And like I said, those injections are anywhere between 35 to 5,000 a month. They're given if the patient is on the outside, Medicaid pays for them, Medicare will pay for them. But inside, that would be a county responsibility to pay for that.
And the blister packs on the meds.
There's a lot of medications that you guys that I've seen, that are addictive medications when you talk about psychiatric medications. Just because an inmate is on them on the outside does not necessarily mean we're going to continue them on the inside. We will provide an alternative, a safer alternative. But when you see the medications that Turnkey is currently using, it leads to a lot of cheating, it can lead to overdose, it can lead to several disastrous effects on the price tag of the county. So what we've done is we went through the formulary at Cleveland, and we have our own formulary that we're gonna use different medication, cheaper medication. Your medication is given in big old bottles. So when you have a detention officer or I understand that your CMA or your nurse is packing meds and giving them out. That's a huge safety risk. It's a big price tag on the liability from the county. So what we did was we changed to, if you were familiar with a bingo card, that's basically what medications come in. We have a card for each individual. That card is scanned and it's tied into the system. So you're able to see at any moment, which, the county will have certain members of the county will have access to look and see, did Susie Q get her medicine? Well, it's scanned in. It leads to a decrease in overdose, medication safety, and cost efficiency.
What questions you have, Brad?
What about our current contract? When is it up?
July
June 30th.
July 1st, so June the 30th would be when they would take over.
And I reviewed the contract, I made a couple of changes, but otherwise.
We weren't getting what our contract said we should get.
On the mental health side, it looks like when you start looking at what they were charging and how many people they were seeing at the times, it wasn't right.
I mean, if we're paid for them, we ought to ask for some of that money back.
And then, of course, I imagine by July the 1st, we're gonna know how much money we're gonna get through the opioid grant for the mental health, which is something I think we started really, was it last year? Was able to get some funds to help on that issue.
This is money from the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse. They have not told us how much is available to Lincoln County right now, the fiscal year 27, but they said that it is coming up and they would let us know. Right now, I think we get $111,000. And it's just under how much we're paying to turnkey. So we're expecting about the same thing, I believe.
Yeah, and I really think on the mental health part, it's a huge plus, because I know we have a lot of issues with it. There's a lot of drug addiction, there's a lot of alcohol problems that, the mental health is going with it. And the way the statutes are currently, we can't get Red Rock to want to come in, to provide that part. I think it's their fault, except the way the rules are, the laws are. So I think this is going to actually help our people. Because when you're not in jail, you're outside of jail. So we need to, while we have this captioned audience, to find out if there's issues, if we can make a difference. And the other thing she mentioned, like Griffin, I know of at least 3 times we've had folks that, a lot of people I don't really think needs to be here, but they end up breaking the law, getting here, they've got a mental health issue that caused them to do what silliness that can get you in jail for bad choice. And we had a guy that had, I think I've told you the story a million times, he had a bad cut, had stitches, right? Pulls the stitches out, squirts blood all over the wall. So he back up, does the same thing. We're not that place to help him. That, you can't deal with that kind of craziness. That you need some special help. And we've been able to get on the Griffin. And if they've got an inside with them, that could be huge. Because it's not that easy to get a facility that deals with mental health, only has so many beds to help you and help them. So I think that's a huge plus too. And if you talk, actually, just I don't know your last name.
Smith.
Smith,
Mhm.
not John.
No.
Cynthia Smith, she's solid. She could beat you up on numbers and blah, blah, blah. She knows her stuff, and I think that's huge. And we get her with it because she's willing to actually come here, and we've never gotten that. We got the little nurse that, shows up. We had that one guy that worked there before that walking down the hallway and passed out. He had some issues himself, spilled all the medication. I think it's gonna be more professional. I think it's gonna be more price effective. And I think it's gonna actually help our people. That's what it's all about anyway. We wouldn't have medical if we didn't have health issues. And it just seems to me it's a lot smarter opportunity that just kind of fell upon us, I believe in divine intervention. I do think this is gonna be one of those things that's gonna help our community and help us.
The other thing is, you guys are paying a lot of money, because it doesn't look like you have anybody available. It looks like you have medical from 8 to 5. Everybody knows, after 5 o'clock, till 8 o'clock in the morning, everybody that comes in this jail, if they're not stopped at the Sally Port, or if you have a medical issue, everybody gotta go out. You're paying an enormous amount of money for that. We've already, got a contract right now, for instance, you're paying $100 an X-ray from Center. That's what Turnkey's charging you. We've already negotiated that rate to 60. They're gonna come here, so you don't have to send them out, because that takes an officer off the street. That takes somebody out of the queue. They're gonna come here. Myself and Dr. Cody, we are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, either by phone or by signal, which I understand you guys already use. And that is how we do things. You have telehealth available, be a nurse here. I will be rounding weekly, bi-weekly, however much I need to be here to handle things. Obviously, I'm a 30-minute, I'm an hour drive away, but if it's not an emergency, okay, I'll be there in an hour to or staple his head or whatever. Those kinds of things matter when you start adding up emergency room visits, detention officer hours off the street. It affects the safety of the community, all of those things. And the only reason I know all of this is because I was a provider for Turnkey. So I already know what goes on behind the closed doors before I started my own company, which was one of the leading factors in starting my own company, was because there's a better way to do inmate medicine. They're inmates, I get it, but things happen and they're still entitled to some type of medical care without cost being on the county, especially rural counties.
And she mentioned HIV medication, believe it or not, in Lincoln County, we had 3 or 4 inmates that were actually on. So you can't say, well, that's not gonna happen here, because it does. And the expense, is pretty high, so if we can get a better deal on the medication and whatnot with them, I think there's just a lot of advantages to it. I see a lot more positives than negatives. You know how many negatives I see? None. I mean, so I don't think it's definitely worth switching.
So we still have 60 days before we need to make a decision.
Do you know how long you need to let turnkey know, how long in advance you need to let turnkey
We've already
know?
notified Turkey. You had to give them a 90-day notice. They got about a 60. So
Nothing against you, but things that sound too good to be true, generally, there's things that we don't know about. Have you called the other sheriffs where they work and visited with them?
of course, Pike County's gonna be new too, since they're gonna be going there.
Yeah. How long has your company been?
We started in March of last year and we bid for the Cleveland County contract, took over June 30th at midnight. Been there, nearly a year.
Okay,
And there's 600 inmate compared to our 77. I mean, kind of like walking in the park probably, but we know that 77 can also increase from
Yeah.
time to time.
Very well, put this on the next agenda, because I'd like to read the contract.
This was just kind of sales pitch.
sounds like a great deal, but just wanna.
Well, it's not great, it's not free, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's gonna be, I think, a lot better services, we're gonna get
Greater
for our
deal.
bang.
Greater.
Yeah,
Greater.
it's better than what we got, and then, when we're talking about the medical part, huge liability to all of us. Everybody owns anything in this county, I mean, we got somebody that we've got negligence involved in, we're gonna pay dearly if they sue us, so. We're trying to stay on top of all that too.
Absolutely. All right. Any other questions?
Not for me.
Appreciate your time coming and hope and we can make that work. So, is that I want to read over the contract, so
Thank you.
thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna jump down to number 14. Leslie had called me, said she has another engagement that she's gonna have to get to, so. Leslie, we'll put you up if you don't mind.
Yes, so the Chandler Regional Airport Authority is going to apply for the Safe Streets for All grant. And because of the location of the airport, the safety action plan includes not only the airport authority, but the city of Chandler and Lincoln County, because we're primarily still focused on getting the new road and then graveling the road that extends when the runway is extended. As many of you probably know, thanks to Congresswoman Stephanie Bice, the runway is going to be extended, which just puts pressure on us needing to find the funding so that we can get that road paved. There is money in Bice's monies that a road will be built, but it'll be a gravel road. And of course, it's my job to help ensure that we improve one road at a time in Lincoln County. And if we can get grant funding, so we can walk away with 2 roads paved and 2 roads that have base failures moved up to being repaired and repaved, well, I think that's a win for Lincoln County. So we have already applied for the build road grant. We scored extremely well last time. If President Biden had not reallocated the majority of the funds, I feel like we would have been extremely competitive as far as winning. So with President Trump committing 1.5 billion, and that does not appear to be being reallocated, then we're still waiting. But because the runway is being extended, I'm just doing my due diligence of finding backup plans. And that's really what this is a backup plan in case we don't get the build grant. So I have support And then Marla Miller asked for me to put this on the agenda so that, it could be, approved through the county because there is a 20% match. That would all be in kind. For those of you who know where the new road is gonna be located, there is a lot of dirt work that needs to transpire. That 20% will not all fall onto the county. And the only thing I'm calculating in is, man hours and equipment. No, if there's rock that needs to be, that would come from the grant to pay for it. So there would be none of those expenses carried on to the county. But fortunately, out at the airport authority, we have several construction companies that utilize that airport, and they have also offered their equipment and help and assistance. So we don't know exactly how it will be divided up as to who will do what. But we wanted to make sure we went through the appropriate channels to ensure that we would be wanting time from the county, and it came before you for a vote.
So the 20% doesn't have to be cash, it can be in.
No, it would be in kind, and it does not have to be actual money that you're using out of your budget to buy rock or to buy base equipment. It could be the labor of the equipment, et cetera. And then, I do not anticipate the entire 20% would fall on the county because I already have 3 construction companies that have offered the same thing. What do you need? Let us know. We've got the equipment. We'll be out there. And there is going to be a lot of that type of moving dirt and just preparing where that road needs to be, because right now it is literally a ravine.
True.
Yeah. But the good thing about it being a ravine is it helps domino into the safety action plan because the vehicles would be at a much lower rate than the airplanes coming in. For example, at the last Chandler Regional Airport Authority meeting, we discussed a key element to the safety action plan, and that is working with ODOT on the turnpike. Because when they redo the turnpike going right through where the airport is, they already have identified the height and where the light poles will be. And so part of the safety action plan was to look at that and give the feedback of removing one of the light poles because it's right in line with the runway. And so we've already put those documents together, and Tyler from LSB is working with ODOT to change those plans so that there's not an issue with vehicles traveling on turnpike as the planes are landing, which I don't know how many of your Facebook accounts told you of the recent situation they had where a plane actually hit a truck when it was landing in another state. So those are safety issues we need to look at, especially drivers on interstates that are near runways.
Is this gonna affect our other safe streets stuff? Thank you.
I was just gonna say it could potentially. I just wanna make sure that whatever we're doing doesn't overlap and that we have letters of support from each, the county and the city, the state. This project does not overlap with that project. There's no duplication and there's no carryover of match. But I did wanna ask, is that under the Lincoln County SS4A plan action?
No,
plan?
it is
Or
not.
do they
It's
have their-
completely separate. The applicant will be separate, the plan is separate, everything is separate. The only reason why the county involved is because that road right now is a county road. That's the only reason why the county's involved.
Okay, so the city of Chandler has their own action plan already in place.
It is, yes, but it goes through the Chandler Regional Airport Authority, yes.
Okay.
I think that's where some of the confusion is. It's actually, the scope is around the airport property itself, but because of where the airport is located, it impacts the city because of where it's district, and then it impacts the county because it's a county road. So that's why we wanted to ensure we were inclusive and had everybody who had an interest in that participate.
And one more question, does it involve a new road?
Does it involve a new road? Yes, it would create a new road because the existing road is where the airport runway is.
Okay,
It was approved during the review period.
okay, I don't think that the SS4A implementation grant allows for the construction of vehicles. So I would just,
That was the guidance we received from our application review. We
okay,
received.
I was just saying, I found that on page 24 of the notebook of ineligible activities and costs, capital projects to construct new roadways used for motor vehicles is an ineligible expense. So I don't know, just confirm that. I don't want us to submit an application and say that we sponsor it or approve it while we're also approving one and writing one for Lincoln County. If that's a completely ineligible expense, I just don't want it to make it look like we didn't do our homework. So, but I would say, yeah, just confirm. That would be my suggestion.
That's what we do there. This is your backup plan.
Yes.
Just a backup plan. It's not a new road, they're just moving an existing road.
I think that was how they looked at it when we met, was because of safety, it was moving the road. So I can understand from one interpretation, it's a new road, but then from a different lens of perspective, it was moving an existing road for safety. And we were advised that we could not use the FAA runway protection zone guidelines as our safety plan, so we developed our own. I just have the perspective that as much, so as much grant applications that we can submit, as much applications that we can get funded in Lincoln County, that's my goal. Is to bring money to Lincoln County. And so I don't see the conflict of having multiple applications because I think it's sending a message of exactly how much funds Lincoln County needs. And I think that that's where we have fallen short in years prior, is we're not submitting those applications. So they are not aware of what we need, because each application goes into their decision-making for next year. Should they continue the program? Who is at need? And so that's really my goal, is not to hinder or impact anyone else's application, but to make sure that they are aware we have needs here in Lincoln County. And this is one of our needs.
And none of this is on our existing, so it doesn't, and it's just us supporting them, so not like we're applying for, I think we'll become.
I don't. I appreciate what you're doing, but I don't jeopardize what we have going for the whole county. So I just want to make sure if you think this is okay, or what do we need to do to.
Well, I mean, if you've already gotten approval and you've already gotten the say so, I would say that's fine, but. If we're committing 20% of the match, if you guys have a stake in it, obviously you do. I would just make sure that absolutely certain that that is an eligible project, and it's not considered a new road. Cause I know Ricky had said that, that was the intent, and I looked at the map and like what they're planning to do with the road, moving it further south, cutting through all those trees, that would be completely a whole new road right there. So I don't know, in my opinion, that's my perspective. So I would just want to make sure that that's, approved.
Well, what, how does us giving a support letter for something that we're not applying for? Well, we're not applying for it.
But would
The
you,
county's not applying for it.
would you be committing 20% though?
Well, between us and the city and the airport and.
The construction companies.
So,
I would just say, just make sure you do your due diligence and make sure that it is not considered a new
I
road.
guess what I'm asking though is how does us supporting this affect our existing, the one that we're applying to?
I would say that if you're applying for it and you're supporting that and they see, well, this isn't even an eligible expense, like that's gonna be automatically and like Xed out. And it's may make you appear like you didn't do your homework. And you're applying for a grant as well. So I just don't want you to look like you didn't do it. Just want you to be on the safe side. But if it's approved project, I don't see any problem with them going after that and you supporting it. No.
They are, and do you already have an approval letter?
No, we had, a meeting with, the grants administrator, and so we laid out, this was our build project. We want to use it as a backup plan going into it. They really focused in on, do we have a safety action plan? We did not at that time. So we have the safety action plan, we have the resolution, completed. So we've checked all the boxes that they requested of us to do. And again, I think that I just have a different experience and different opinion, but I think so much of this is automated when it goes through those initial rounds, that I don't think the automated process is gonna make anyone look bad. It may look as though maybe more work needs to be done on application, which is generally when we get the debriefs, that's their guidance is, we want you to, work on this section of the application, so I don't think it necessarily makes us look bad. I think it looks like we are trying to get federal funds in our county. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a problem signing
Is it possible to get a approval letter?
Not at this late date, because the application deadline is May 22nd, and the pre-application information was completed back in April.
How far away is their contract? It's next, isn't it? Okay. Well, I don't know. Both of them make very good arguments.
And if you're not comfortable with it, because WSB is already supporting or already in contract with you, I mean, I can just let the Chandler Regional Airport Authority know that we didn't get the letter of support, we don't have the in-kind, so we won't be submitting the application. So that they just know.
This letter doesn't say anything about in-kind.
Correct, because we didn't know exactly what amount is needed from each of the entities.
Right.
Right.
So. It's just saying sports no different than the one we've done for Second Fox and.
Okay.
I would say, just to chime in, that it's okay for you guys to support it, like, I think that that's fine, but, I would just make sure that you have 2 letters of support with your application and with ours that state that there's no overlap in the projects, and that there's no crossover and match or anything like that.
That's
That would
That's
really
easy to
be
do.
fine.
Okay. Make a motion to.
Would that work for you?
Yeah, I just don't think that those docs are ever gonna connect when they're probably going to get over 800 applications for this funding, but if that. I don't think it's necessary, I don't think it's ever going to, I think it's going to end up, from my perspective. I don't know, and like I talked to the Chandler Regional Airport Authority, I don't know that our, grant application is going to score in the top, because there's not some of the things that helped us in the build grant. We were an exact match for the build grant. That was it was almost written for that type of project. For this project, again, I believe that we need to start trying to go for some grand slams and some home runs, even if it's not an exact match, so that we're sending a message that Lincoln County needs funds.
Sure.
So. Because it does end up impacting Bison, Langford and McMullins on how they see funding coming through and then what committees they sit on and where they're gonna put that funding in the future. So I would not want to submit an application because we're not sending that message that we need funding in the future.
Make a motion to approve. I'll just support that.
Letter based upon what WSB is requesting, then that's fine with me.
You want me to change anything in the support letter?
No, that's
Okay.
good. Number 7. Unless you're needing to get out of here.
Can we finish hers since we're talking about it?
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and do you?
While you're talking about it.
What number are we on?
15.
Here's that agreement.
So, yeah, I had sent over the, information and some support letters, just draft templates for you guys. I know that you had given verbal approval for us to start kicking things off, so we had started doing some homework on the SS4A, implementation needs. And I think I had sent over some needs to Chastity, but, for today, I had sent over the contract as well for you guys to review. I think, I don't know if you provided.
I did,
that
yeah.
as well. Okay, that was just for the approval for us to make sure we're, under contract. Clear to proceed, for the SS4A implementation project. And that would, according to all of the locations that you all selected for each district, include several approachments at several of the intersections that proved to be a safety concern. We have Anthony working on that, putting together cost estimates currently. And identifying if there are identified safety concerns. He's on the call as well, I believe, if you have any questions for him. And then, that also includes the trail down at Kickapoo, from the highway down to, the county line. It wouldn't go all the way down to the river because it carries over into Potawatomi County. And then also the trail in city of Chandler from the city hall to the Taco Bell. So all of those things would be included. There are some approachments that were some concerns to Anthony when he was looking those up on the map and he didn't find that there was a lot of safety concerns that would tie into this grant. We have to make sure that we are hitting those targets and we are aligning with their priorities in the grant application. So one of the major priorities being safety is a concern. The problem is some of those approaches, he was not able to find any true safety concerns. So he may have some questions for you guys and have some for him, but he's on the call, so he might want to chime in there.
When you say you couldn't find true safety, meaning there's no record of an accident?
Just, he was looking at it on the map and
That and like, obviously sight distance, so
site.
it's a lot plays into it, other than, with this grant, I mean, you can't just turn it into, overlay from the white line. Like if we
Yeah.
like to do 100 feet back, so that's like a maintenance deal. I mean, so really you tie it to, turning range, solar powered light. You see what I mean, the caution, some reason for that intersection other than just having it. The dirt itself is the safety issue on that intersection.
Is Anthony able to?
I don't think it's over.
It was on there earlier.
Oh, did he? Okay.
That's what it is, and we're looking at every one of them.
Yeah.
And attorney and all we can, but we talk about a lot of intersections, I don't know. Right, and everything that I submitted were intersections that were in the list. So.
Yeah, there was some.
Well, they're on the road, you talk about the red line on the road. Well, yeah, you guys put a list of all the areas and where we submitted. Right.
Yeah.
I understand, but I mean, still, what he's saying is gotta have some safety, something. Where you try to put a turning lane or, stripes and. Like sit a light, some different things. We're looking into it.
Yeah,
Big
just
time.
looking.
So he's putting the estimates together, but he basically just wanted to make you aware that every one of them intersections may not qualify. You know, he looked at that one over there, that definitely would, by Warwick. So when you get ready to go into Warwick, the one
Yeah.
from south, you know, if you look at it, it's got one turn lane that comes in, you know, off that when you're heading to the east. Then one going straight. The one that's across the road on 66, Warwick right there by the bike shop.
Yeah,
So that one there was coming in. You know, and in the curve.
yeah,
Beside this one, that one is definitely a really bad spot. And also that one. So would be about school too.
yeah,
Well, and I just wanna say that what we really wanna do is make sure that we are aligning with their priorities, because we want you guys to score high. You're investing money in us to put together an application for you, and I wanna make sure that we score extremely well, that we can score the highest, and if there's anything that's going to minimize scoring, I want to avoid that.
yeah,
So, you know, we will look at all of them and review and make sure that we can tie in some kind of safety component wherever we can. If there's not one that he can speak to just by looking at a map, maybe you guys can say, well, here's the safety concerns, here's my issues, here's what we're seeing, you know, maybe we've had accidents there or reported concerns, then that would help the application. So, you know, if there's any that come up, he's making a list and he's identifying, here's what I'm not seeing, here's what I am seeing. And we're putting it all together in a table format for you guys to review, and then, you know, if you can speak to it and we can plug it in there, that's great.
Okay.
But I just wanna make sure that you score as best as you can. And, you know, I don't want you to waste your money. There's never a guarantee with grants, but I'm gonna do my very best.
yeah.
I promise that.
Sure. Well, we just need to know, I guess, when you get it all put together, what we're cutting out, what we're replacing.
Yes, because that will affect the match, as well as like if the Kickapoo are going to provide any match, or if the city of Chandler is gonna provide any match. Now, there is, like, I forget what her name is, like she was saying, it can be in kind. So if you have like support or staff that can help make those improvements, that can go towards the in kind, but we will need to identify what that's going to be, who's it coming from, and that you are definitely committed to it.
And also, you know, the sidewalk bill, I talked to the city of Chandler. It's their part of it, and they would kind of do their own letter of commitment and that. Right. We're gonna talk, we gotta be today with the Kickapoos to see, you know, what they wanna do, and they're supposed to match. That's what, I mean, we need to, and that's where you come in, that's. That was our previous. Discussions was, they will do everything if we can apply for the grant. Good.
And you mentioned the sidewalk for Chandler going to Taco Bell. Would it be? I mean, the health department's right next door. Can we extend it to the people that might need to walk to the health department? Is that an option or is it too late?
You know, we originally started, you know, all the way to Walmart with.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought, well, you know, how far does it?
yeah. I say
It
that.
would work out there, but where do you want it? Basically, and I was gonna take it up with Jason too, though.
I mean, all the way to that housing addition, that's. What's you know,
Well, see, if it.
just on that side of the health department, if it went to there, that would take care of most of the houses in town and the health department and VHS.
Okay.
Do you know if that's a low income housing area?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's on this end and they're gonna be walking that way to the health department.
Yeah, if you would go to, you're talking about going to just the corner where the health department.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be done, but that's only like another,
200 yards maybe.
if that, so I'll tell Anthony, we just figure on stopping right there.
This is due on the 26th, so we will need some heavy alignment and commitment from you guys just to get everything completed on time.
Okay,
What do you make the word? They just need,
so what do you need from us today? This signed? You know, when Stacy got to look at it, you want a letter? Let her.
Yeah.
Okay, I think so too.
let her read over it, and we'll come back to it.
Thank you.
Alright. Now we can go back up, juvenile detention from the. Okay. These are, it's that time of year, I guess, that you start getting a dozen of these. $6 a day, no change from last year.
Who put that note on there? No change from last year. Did you do that?
Amy did.
Did a good job. We always wanna know that.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve it.
I'll say, no favor say aye.
Alright.
None.
Oh, page. Think I'm sorry. What's the Will's name? Thanks.
Mhm.
Sheriff's Office Assistance Grant. Resolution and applications, we got both of those.
Make a motion to approve it.
I'll second, all in favor say aye.
Alright.
And then application, do we need anything signed or you just need a motion?
This is just saying that we're going to apply for it. We don't have a grant application yet.
Okay, so we're not doing number 9?
We should have the resolution for that. We're talking about number 8.
Yes.
Right, you just did the resolution, right?
Is that the DEQ one?
Well, they're both the sheriff's assistance grant.
This is the resolution. What was this? Because there's no application.
Yeah, it's just saying that we can't apply
Okay.
online.
We'll
Yeah.
make a motion, no, that'll apply.
I'll make that motion.
Well, second it, all in favor say aye.
Alright.
Aye. Okay, there's an action regarding the sheriff's office vehicle claim. I wanted this on here, this is one of the deputies backed into a dumpster in their own yard.
Yeah, his house, that's right. Forgot they dumped it there, so.
$8,000, do we wanna? How do we wanna handle it?
I guess the two options is let ACO pay for it or let the sheriff pay for it.
Yeah, really, I mean. We still got money in our deductible account, to cover it, but.
I do have a 5-year run loss report that I can provide, and I did verify that there's $50,000 left in that deductible fund
Okay.
for the rest of the year.
I mean, we'll just have to replace this either way, and 10% of that, wow. We go, they called me a couple days ago and wanted to know what I want to do. I said, I'm gonna bring this to a meeting, because it's very unusual for it to happen in the deputy's driveway. Stuff like that, so I didn't want to make that decision without, I don't want him.
Was there any discipline?
He's pretty pissed at himself. What do you do? I mean, has everybody ever backed into something? Unfortunately, he had a dumpster drop because he's one of those big ones, because he's cleaning out some bedrooms and throwing junk away. And I guess he went out on a Saturday to service the papers and forgot it was there. I mean, can't say I've never done nothing dumb like that, but I've never done it at the sheriff's car. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So.
No. We need to be, have some sort of discipline, I don't. You know, I don't think he needs to pay for it out of his own pocket, but because we do have influence, but. We need some sort of disciplinary action, I would, if this happens with one of my guys, I would have written him up and given him. Some
I'm
sort of remedial
amazed at the
training.
$8,000 deal, I mean, 'cause that's the first I've heard of that, but I think to replace. You just jacked up that hose, because it's a Durango.
Yeah.
I think on salvage, you can buy one for $650, $700, so. I'm not so sure if we could not fix it cheaper, you know what I'm saying?
So let's not turn it in and your office just pay for it the most affordable way possible, do you think? I mean,
I'm sure we could, I mean, I just spent $7,000 worth of refrigerators and freezers in your jail, so I don't mind buying a door. I mean,
yeah.
whatever we can do, make it work.
I mean, if you can buy a door for $600 or $1,000, that's way better than 8,000.
Oh, I agree.
And
And I'm not so sure if we don't have some talented guys can put it on. I mean,
Yeah.
they took a hood off of one the other day. They got jacked up because the bumper fell off because of the roads, and we ended up, I was amazed that it even 4 or 5 year difference, it even fit, but it did,
Yeah.
so. We've got some talented guys. I mean, they
Yeah.
also do dumb stuff. I can't deny that. I mean, back in dumb stuff, but I mean, you know, it can happen to anybody. Well, like all actually, yeah. But I do think there's some opportunities we could do that cheaper. That sounds kind of expensive.
yeah. So are you okay with that if we just?
Yeah, it isn't white. I mean, it's not like you've got to repaint anything. I mean,
Yeah.
Cause after the meeting, I'll call them and let them know that we're not gonna accept a check on it, but to put it against our deductible. And what that does is. We have our annual deductible. And they can say, hey, we're gonna pay for it out of our own pocket, they'll actually credit it to our deductible so we can meet it. If we need to quicker, so it doesn't cost us anything.
Okay.
and I can even ask Jack to fix themselves. I mean, it's just put enough right there. Like, you know, it's not. They cover. And technically, his insurance might even be liable for something like that.
We don't usually when we borrow a vehicle.
Thinking outside the box, you know,
So
Okay.
we'll do whatever you want on that side, but I think. Yeah, I just don't wanna, we're gonna pay this at the end of the year or pay it now, if you can do it cheaper, then it'll cost us less later down the road.
I think so.
Okay. So we're gonna do no action on the insurance claim?
Yeah, I'll take care of it. Or we can just say, we'll fix it now, so then let's make a motion, I'll make a motion that we'll fix it now, so not. Claim on our deductible thing.
Okay, second.
In favor, say aye.
Alright.
Sheriff's intergovernmental cooperative agreement with Stroud Police Department. Gotten a interlocal from the Iowa tribe yet?
No.
Same as earlier.
Make a motion to approve it.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ms. Riley will address the board concerning data centers and transfers. What?
Morning. I want to at least be visible where I can, see you. Am I allowed to sit in the chair?
Sure.
Only if you stay at the table.
Right, well, there we go. Okay, so following my last meeting with you guys, I visited with Geronimo the very same day. And it was an hour and a half, an hour and 27 minute, conversation. I think there's some things that came out in that are really important. I did go public and they knew I was going public with a lot of things. But these are things that I had not went public with. The next two on the questions that I wanted to come to you as county, leaders first, instead of seeing it on Facebook. But the one thing that I really want to talk about is this, this signed and executed deal in Stroud. So this is the conversation that they had with me, that they brought it up and, saying that there was a signed, executed deal with Greenlight. Now, I know that Will said he reached out to them and they're saying, oh, well, we don't know. Now, whether they lied to me or not, this was the conversation that was had. So whenever I try to, keep my engagement academic, this is why. So I do want to read this, just so that we can, have the context of what we're doing. So Geronimo, they said, do you realize there's another developer that has signed land near Stroud? That is not us. It's signed and executed. Are you aware of that one? So they brought that one up to me. I said, no, I was not. Geronimo, okay, yeah, there's one already. Regina, for a data center, Geronimo. And you know what? They did not come to the community first. I said, you're exactly right. Geronimo said, what's that? I said, you're exactly right. They did not come because we would have heard about it from another company that's not related to you. So when this comes out, they're going to know it's not Geronimo. Geronimo said, that's correct. Regina, do you know what company it is? It's public. And Geronimo said, it's Greenlight. I said, Greenlight, is that north of Stroud? And they said, Geronimo said, yes, it's Stroud. I said, but is it north of Stroud? And Geronimo said, yeah, it's, from what I can tell, it's just north of the turnpike. Regina, so that's what we consider, that's north. Geronimo, I don't know how far north of the turnpike though. Regina, sure, so GRDA has the hub up there, so we do know that it's a data center. Do you know? Geronimo, I would presume it would be. Regina, okay. This is what they brought to me. I did go public with it, but I did not know this information. I'm assuming that nobody really knows this information now, but I want to bring and put it on your radar because it will affect the county. This is the information that I know. Then I want to go into one of the things, and I tried to keep this on the new limit of 5 minutes, but a couple of things I thought was important today to talk about was one, something on county involvement. Here we go again, Geronimo. So it would be under Geronimo power in that agreement. We would have the right to assign or reassign interests. Regina, so you would be the stakeholder of ownership and then pivot out to Geronimo, yes. However, let me make clear that anything, our purpose here is to create the engagement procedures. We will be making legal if we get to this point. There is a lot we would need to happen. But there would be a legally bound agreement between the county, the state, and the end user that we would be making those agreements for the end user. And that end user, would be agreeing if they chose to move into the site. They would be agreeing to accepting all of those terms on the agreement. So, and for those terms of the agreement. So my question is, giving this information, how will this legally bound agreement work on the county end? What are the steps and processes? And how will the public notice be given that there is a legally bound deal in the works?
The only legal document I would know of would have to do with taxes. Whether it be just regular property taxes or in lieu of taxes, but that's, as far as counties, then that's all that. Unless they wanted a road use agreement where they would be fixing up the road or something like that. I mean, those are our agreement.
If they're wanting to offer an agreement to take care of the roads, but we can't force them into an agreement to take care of the roads. So, it sounds like he's saying that he is offering that an agreement with the county. But
I don't know what it is. I know some counties and some places do in lieu of tax. So instead of changing the assessment every year, they can set and say, okay, it's this X amount of facility, we'll write the county $22 million every year for the next 10 years. There's different things like that that can be done.
So they did talk about something like that, that the conversation was an hour and a half, so it was just impossible to pull out all the information. This was just my highlights, but what, if they did an in lieu of tax, would that mean that it would not progressively go up? If our tax percentage?
If they were to negotiate something like that, yeah, they could be, and then, so the in lieu of taxes. Cause there's the property tax, and then there's the personal property tax or the business property tax inside, and all intellectual property inside is also taxable. Not saying that I would ever do that agreement, but that's probably something that they're gonna be interested in making.
Yeah, and so how would we as the general public know if they started bringing you, this information, trying to
Has
negotiate?
any company ever, I've never been as part of that, only been here 6 years.
Nobody's ever asked for that. And
Have you ever? He was around here for 30 years, so.
And of course, this is all new. I mean, this is new for Lincoln County.
Yeah.
And so they've only been in existence, this company, since September. They don't even have build underneath them. And so with the research I'm doing is they're gonna be the majority stakeholder. And so we may not even know who's coming in and out as the end user.
Yeah,
So they're going to be, they're not the builder, they're the stakeholder, and then they'll contract out somebody coming in to be the end user. So you have multiple phases of stakeholders within this potential site.
yeah,
So, you know, one thing is when they're sitting saying, okay, we're gonna do this legally bound contract, blah, blah, blah. So I think that, as rural people, if it goes there, or even city people, like, how do we, know that they're coming to you with a legal, contract, that they're trying to negotiate? Because it's not been in the past.
we did, like you said, we've got our transparency part on the website now.
You did?
And so we can do all that.
Yes, that would be great. So I haven't looked at the website, so it's on your Lincoln County website, and it'll be a transparency site.
Yeah, but there's nothing new on there other than
Well,
some of the stuff we talked about, because nobody's contacted us, but.
having it.
If there's leases being made and they're turning those leases in, for property, that would be found in my office. And we also have a website that you can search out and maybe just look for that company's name. And see if there's been any leases done, anything. But that's after the fact, it's already done, it's whatever.
That's what I'm trying to say is like, how would we know that? Because this is a sale, it's not a lease. I mean, they're gonna own this property.
Well-
How would we know that, they're coming to you with this legally,
They
bound?
have to come to us. Yeah.
Well, what she talked about for to negotiate the taxes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that would be the assessor's office and the commissioners that would work together to figure that out. And I mean, the only way to do that is we can put that up, just like
Okay.
we do anything else, but I don't know. I mean, there won't be a letter mailed out or anything like that.
No, but if you have a site now that we can watch, I just don't, I mean, I want to know, is there a deal being made? You know, I want to know what that deal looks like. I mean, I don't mind coming to these meetings
Right,
and listening and paying attention, but, you know, having it when it's happening, a lot of the dealings that I'm hearing with Geronimo, are after the fact, you know, like they've come to people to get their land after the fact, we find out, you know, so having that current status, I think that's important to know. They're trying to negotiate this tax contract and this is what it looks like. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. The county sound decimal limit. This was the conversation. Geronimo, why are we pursuing agricultural land? You know, there are several reasons. I could probably go on. I think a short answer, I would rest on the private property rights for one. If a landowner is willing to or not willing to, but if the landowner signs their land, you know, that is their right to do with their land. In the current structure of our constitution, now there's also an additional, I guess, rationale behind going more rural. We can space it out and have less neighbors. We can put it where it won't bother people. By bothering, I mean predominantly, people don't want to look at it. And so with our projects, our goal is to get as much of a green screen around it. whether that be trees or a wall around the facility. We have, we have to conduct sound surveys. We have to mitigate any sound and leave it not impact the decimals of the existing resting sound limit. So there are a number of reasons of why, but I would say for one, the reasons why everybody else is out there, it's rural. There's not a lot of people. We can mitigate our impacts to others. Regina, but you understand where that sounds like the rural people don't matter and the city people do. So I will just say that it is going to hit, that is going to hit the rural people hard. So that's their quote of why they're going rural, because nobody wants to look at it and they can just put it in the country because there's less people that are gonna be around it. Well, we are the people that are gonna be around it. We live in that country. There, for all the reasons, they don't wanna put it in the city. We don't want it out there where our wildlife and our natural resources are, and the people have no choice but to live right next to it. So my question is, talking about this subject right here, what do these sound surveys look like in rural Lincoln County? Who would regulate this? And what is the level of decimals of the existing resting sound limit in the country rural area? What are the regulations?
No idea. That's not anything we county does.
So you're saying that for all the reasons they wouldn't put it in the city, they're gonna put it out here in the country, and there's no sound decimal regulations in like
Not-
rural Lincoln
Not
County?
anything that we enforce now.
Not
The state,
the county.
the state may have them, but I don't. It's not anything that we can enforce here. I imagine it would be a DEQ or an APA regulation or something. If there is one.
If there's one in the cities, it is still in effect in the county. For commercial buildings.
And there's not one here. In the city.
No, I'm saying, if cities have, if it's regulated by a state agency. Then it is everywhere, not just in city limits.
But you don't know if there is one in the state.
I
No,
don't know. Never had the reason to look it up for.
And new reasons, here we are proactively saying, I'm gonna grab a tissue. New reasons, I don't expect everyone to have all the answers. I don't have all the answers, and I work this every night after I get home, 7 days a week, on the weekends. I know this is your full-time job. I'm thinking some of these questions you might be able to get the information for a little bit better than me. And if there's something that's not there, like maybe you can look into it. Maybe you can see, is this gonna be an issue? The way they're sounding, and probably most big in industry is, that's why they wanna go to the county, because there's really no oversight, and we talked about that. The people that they're mitigating, we're still important, even if it's in the country. I would say even more important because of the wildlife and the agriculture that you don't have within city limits. Me personally, after the conversation I had with them, and then my commissioner, I'm sad he's not here today. He did reach out. I do talk to him regularly as well. And asked the same questions that they gave me information, and their answer was totally different. So I can track conversations they've had with elected officials, conversations they've had with state officials, conversations they've had with me. And that's why I put my quotes on there, is because they're changing that storyline every time they talk to somebody else. So we can't always trust out of the mouth of big industry that's here for profit, but we are all in this county together. So I really think that we need to have that communication, that active communication. And if we hear something, we shouldn't be afraid to bring it to the table. And then, I understand that it's real personal to me because I live in rural Lincoln County. So I try to keep mine academic focused on what I know to be true even firsthand. So I did want you guys to have these notes. I do want you to include it in your conversations and to mark these things down when they do go public.
what, this may just be a rumor, but I think it's more than a rumor. I think we've already seen that this may be the new way of life. And in that, this conversation as well that I didn't highlight today, there's so much more that I have, but the whole conversation, like what these questions are. They dismissed my community involvement, then my neighbors, their questions, the way they treated me, and they had to apologize 7 times for being hateful and not letting our voices be heard. I think that how they interact with people is gonna be different based on what our role is in the community. So if we as average normal people can come to you with our engagements that we know to be true, and you can also come to us with engagements that they are proposing to you, I think that it's gonna make us more united. Would I love to see a ban on all of it in this Lincoln County? Absolutely. Personally, I would absolutely love that. Is that gonna happen overnight? Probably not.
It's coming.
I hope.
Gina knows what she's talking about, planning for being in my place, one of the options, and I said no, but they had contacted me, south of Deadport, right across from her house, by the way. So they're not gonna put it there, they're gonna put it somewhere else.
Right.
She knows. what she's talking about.
But even at that, an hour and a half, and in that, and I didn't quote today because there wasn't enough time for this new format, but they said, well, we will stay out of rural areas. Said that. Looks like we need to stay out of rural areas. The very next day, they called Miss Linda, trying to revisit to buy that property again. Of course, they would love to build it right across the street from my house. They're already following me on social media. You don't even know what I've lived through to date. I almost stopped when I met these fine people down there. I almost stopped, and then I thought, you know what? No, I'm not gonna stop. There's no reason why we can't respectfully continue advocating for something that we believe in, or that's gonna hit generations down the road. So we can't trust outsiders. But hopefully we can trust us. We're here, we're stakeholders,
True.
and we mean something, so.
I don't expect a whole lot of communication until it's already gonna happen.
And that's what I wanna
That's
stop.
what I'm expecting, talking to us. I don't expect them to be talking much, but,
You can't do anything about it, I mean, you
right,
can do what you want to out there, and there's nothing you all can do about it.
that's right.
But I guess there's no sound decimal.
If it was Regina, those gas plants are out there wouldn't roar like they do. They'll wake the dead out there. There's gas plants that's out on the farm. You can hear those plants as you roar. There's no
Did you-
peaks out there anymore.
Did you look that up?
I did.
She
And
did.
it's actually, it says that it's controlled by the city or the county. Here in Oklahoma, there is no regulation.
Those gas plants roar.
That was gonna be my question is because it says it's up to the county sheriff's office. It would be treated like a noise complaint. So what are the laws for the county as far as if you have to go to a noise?
I've never heard of one.
Yeah, so since we don't have zoning. And so there's nothing that we can put in place as far as that goes unless there are some rules on. You know, someone being a nuisance, but
That's what I'm saying. So
there's a
I-
difference.
I lived in the county like I used to instead of in the city. So I couldn't call if a neighbor was throwing a party and being expeditiously loud and. I couldn't call it.
Mm,
the sheriff.
You can call them up for statutes like dogs at large, there's nothing there either. People shooting off Tannerite at midnight, there's nothing out on the county ordinance for that.
Speaker on a good clear night when the wind's out of the south out there, the race cars at Maker are just going roar, 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 and we live by the Davenport City Lake.
So we need to
there's
change the
no
law.
sound
I
on.
live by the turnpike, just midnight down the road, you get used to it, but. Wow.
It's gonna have to come out of Oklahoma City.
So it's the laws that need to.
There's no
Right.
law. No law, they do it what to.
All right, thank you. I always do. I told you that before. I like it when you say, you always give us a lot of good information. All right, now we've got, talk about an agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I asked was one to talk about was this 5 minute thing, which apparently isn't that big a deal right now because y'all kind of, you know, but at any point in time, if, I guess, if y'all decide that it's something that's not worthy of talking about or whatever, you're gonna cut somebody off. Now, I don't understand how we're supposed to get our voice in if y'all limit the, you know, y'all say, okay, 5 minutes, and then y'all decide on what 5 minutes we get to talk, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm picking shoes. I don't agree with it just for the fact that we don't get much time to talk to y'all. You know, we don't. And so when we decide to talk, I really think that especially if we take time off to come talk to them, that y'all can't listen. You know, if it takes 10 minutes, it takes 10 minutes. It's not, you know what I mean? And I get what you're saying, if there's 30 of us, you get it on me.
Right.
Still, that's 30 of us taking off all day for our job too, you know?
Yeah, and I appreciate your comment. The issue that we saw is we're here to get county business done. And, you know, I'm serious. I enjoy people being involved and input in agenda items and things like that. But we also, everybody in here has jobs outside of this room. And so there is going to come a point where we're going to have to start cutting people off. Today, it's 1 or 2, we're able to extend that. But if there were 40 people in here wanting to say 40 of the same thing.
Yeah.
Then we just need something in place to be able to, let's get our business done. If we need to have a special meeting to talk about whatever hot topic it is, we'll be okay with that.
Okay.
But we're just,
Session week.
yeah, we're just trying to get the county's business done.
If it's okay, I do have one more question. About the time. If, I think we didn't hear whenever the sheriff's office was collaborating with the tribal, or what, you know what I mean, trying to figure out how they're gonna work that out. I understand that the state, yeah, sets regulations on how everything works, county, everything. So I get that. But I didn't know that they limited the county to not going above or putting forth anything else. They just put a basic, this is what.
If the statute doesn't say it, we can't do it.
You can't say in this county, we're gonna do this too.
No, we are. Title 19, Title 62 is pretty much the box that we live in.
I don't know.
Right, I do, that's, yeah, we serve at the will of the House and Senate, or the legislature. And so,
So
yeah,
you can't go in as a district or as a county and say, look, we wanna add to this or.
no, I mean, there's very, very little wiggle room. You get a lawyer to interpret things a little bit different, but if it doesn't say we can, then we can't.
So the government's not a base plan, it's just, that's the box.
That's the box.
Smart.
What title did you say that was? Sorry.
We live in pretty much, I mean, all of the titles have something to do with this, but pretty much Title 19 and Title 62.
Okay, I did.
So,
Okay.
yeah, if you're ever done reading them out, just open up Title 19 and start going through. All right.
Thank you for coming.
Appreciate everybody. I love
Any
people
new
get
information?
involved. There's a lot of times we sit in here. This is important stuff, but nobody seems to care. And, you know, when people get involved, things happen, so I do appreciate everybody coming.
Any new information that you bring, I mean, that's kind of it's not that we're trying to pick who we're gonna listen to, but we can't listen to the same stuff over and over, and that's why the 5 minute deal is there. I mean, if new information is important, and so we wanna hear it. Thank y'all for ringing.
Do that. All right, we're ready to move on. Seems like we just finished it. The budget. So we wanna hire, Wilson Dotson Associates for the fiscal year budget for Lincoln County.
They've been doing our budget forever. And this also includes temporary appropriations, so we can do that 50% again. Okay.
Hold on. Before we sign that. Let's go down to number 22. Cause it could affect some numbers in that. They're going broke again. They just lost their executive director again. They can't afford to keep doing what they're doing. The board is, there's about 3 people that are actually working to keep that place going. The rest of them just, it's frustrating. There is a meeting at 1:30 today. When they do have an executive session to talk about the executive director. I'm gonna ask them straight out, they can't vote on it today, but I'm gonna ask them straight out to dissolve it. So we don't have to pay for an election. But if they want, time has come to dissolve that board. Cause we're gonna be right back into the place where we're spending tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to
Bail them out.
to bail them out again.
So if we have an election to dissolve it, will the funds it's collected for them come to us?
Yeah, so we'll have to work through the state to get it. There's some hoops to jump through. And I would like to put in the ballot a 12-month transition period. So we already have the employees. We need to make sure that City of Chandler would still let us keep the building. If not, we'll have to figure something out. And then we can apply for grants, get some new equipment, new CAD, and everything, and then move into that area. And I think 12 months would be a fair deal, because there's millions of dollars up there for upgrading 911 systems. Just have to do it the way they want us to. So.
So we wanna wait on this and see if we need to figure a budget for them.
Well, and we still need to do this, but it could affect this. We can always change it later. But I wanted to, just before we talk about these numbers, I wanted to let you know that there's possible we might just add a 911 center to it. I think it needs to be standalone, have its own director. Similar to,
Sheriff Garrett, whatever his name is, what is your name?
Kevin,
Kevin. Are they doing anything about the missing money at the 911? I told them to see the always fighting down there, 902 eyes.
I talked to go and the AG's office has the information, they just have not called the grand jury yet. There's more than just that.
I know,
Well, it has to be investigated by law enforcement.
they realize
I
that.
mean, the auditors found some discrepancies, so therefore, the best solution would probably be having the AG run it through the Multnomah County Grand Jury. They have to investigate it. That hasn't happened yet. I don't know if it's because he's running for governor, they're too busy, I don't know, but Painter told me the same thing, that he has contacted them, so it'd be nice to kind of get that resolved. To see where that
But
is.
just us dissolving the board does not mean that
That they'll do away with
away
the
with
board
that.
after
There's still
money down.
legal issues and we can still go
To
out.
get slapped on the wrist,
I hope it's.
or
more than that.
maybe in his jail next, I might try that,
Someone needs to go to jail.
yeah.
So and Adam has also assured me that if they do not pick it up, we will bring the charges, but the grand jury is the best way because it opens everything up.
Thank you.
You bet.
I talked to, you didn't ask my opinion or anything, I'm not really giving one, but I did talk to Mr. Wakefield the other day, trying to talk him out of resigning because he's done a really good job with what he's had to work with, but I think he's had to work so many shifts dispatching. You know, a lot of times I'm out late and he's the one dispatching that he can't really do all the other things he needs to do. They're still shorthanded, 3 positions.
Yeah.
And they really need another $200,000 or $300,000 on top of what they're getting on the money that comes in on the 911 calls. So therefore, the only way to really make that work, it's kind of similar like we did the detention officers last year, was if it's a county income and the county covers the benefits, I mean, that's the $240,000, $300,000 we're subsidizing, but we're looking at the whole county, 37,000 people are dependent on the 911 card. Somebody has to pick it up. And it can't be my budget on offsetting that. I mean, if it comes to that part, then we could, 5 people, I mean, I could have a dispatch 24/7. But that's just not realistic. It needs to be obviously shared by everybody to a certain degree. And, I hate to be for anything, but I think that we need to do something different because that hasn't worked. It hasn't worked ever since it's been there. There's been issues. And we all know that when you come under the county umbrella and you deal with Alicia's office, there's checks and balances all the way through, and you have to have that so people can't embezzle money or they can't make bad decisions with your money and try to make it work where it's professional. And if anybody calls 911, they're gonna get fired, they're gonna get an ambulance, they're gonna get the police. I mean, that's what I would think the goal would be to have that. And right now, I mean, I know Charlotte's even had to work a lot of hours down there at the very get-go before Tyler came on, and it's a,
I
It's a
actually worked
mess.
4 shifts in the last 2 weeks, so I've dispatched 4 different days in the last 2 weeks.
Speak up again, I'm not even on this. But people need to stop using it instead of going to the doctor, come out and check my blood pressure. I mean, they don't wanna go to the doctor, so we call you all to come out and check the blood pressure, and they don't pay.
that's a good point, because you're tying up the ambulance service on something that you can take care of yourself. Then when somebody has a bad wreck and they really need it,
They're gone.
you're gonna have a 20-minute delay for somebody else to pick it up. I mean, there's a wheel now involved on the taxes for the ambulance service to help them to subsidize, what they've got going on. And I like to think that means we get more ambulances, maybe all paramedic, level of employees on it, to give us all a better chance in that, miracle, golden hour that, you need help, you need help. And then, of course, the turnpike drains a lot of services too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not us, but we all anticipate if we drive across the country, we have a wreck somewhere out in rural Missouri, that somebody shows up to get us out of a car and to help us out.
So I have been talking to surrounding counties and different entities, and I know the state's interested in 911 consolidation. And in today's day and age, we can really easily network dispatches. So you have the Iowa tribe has their own dispatch. We can have a building in Lincoln County and a few dispatchers in Pot County, but we all tie our dispatch together. Say the worst happens, the tornado comes from Chandler, takes out our dispatch, everything automatically rolls to the other dispatchers. And it makes it to where you call 911, you're not saying, hold on, I gotta transfer you to this 911. It makes things better, and there's money at the state to help us do that, so. And if Pot County gets involved and they put in their $500,000 or whatever it is they get, and Seminole County gets involved and puts in their money, we can have a really good dispatch that we share the cost all the way around, and it's not just costing us for just our fee. So that's my end goal on it, and that's what I've kind of been working on for the last couple of years, trying to figure it out.
Very important issue.
So. But I have a feeling it's going to take a vote of the people, so we'll have to spend money on the election, but.
We people, we feel like we vote for something, just like this new ambulance thing. Where's it at? We expect an ambulance on the corner next week and board's not informed yet.
So the board's forming,
They just wanted to do it.
money's going, there's already money going to the ambulances. We've
Yeah.
actually increased the number of ambulances
Yeah.
in Lincoln County. It's a slow, that will be a slow process.
Slow. It's slow.
Yeah, but welcome, it's frustrating. There are times I wanna snap my fingers, but we just can't do that, so. It's designed that way, 'cause it's so transparent. Okay, so. We can take either one you wanna take. I think we need to vote to dissolve the non-interest.
But you haven't approached them about it yet?
I've talked to them about it, I know people have mentioned it several times.
We have a meeting at 1:30 today.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go and tell them that we just voted, and it'd be a whole lot cheaper and easier if they would just dissolve. That's why I put it on here.
I think I'd rather wait and, I'm gonna try to come to the meeting.
We'll let you go then.
No, I'll sit and listen, and you can do the talking. I'll be the guy in the corner that talk, but,
Whatever.
I mean, if that's all right, if we're both there,
Yeah, the new rule said we can,
As long as y'all don't make a decision.
yeah.
but
Uh,
if we can always rescind it if we choose to, but I would rather vote to do it. That way it gives me. Say we've already voted to do it. We can have other agenda items to plan it and date it and everything else.
I just don't know that we're gonna be able to do it any cheaper, is my. But we're gonna have to give money,
Oh, it's gonna cost us either way.
Yeah.
But this board's not working. That's the problem.
is it the board or the funding?
And it's the big part of it's the board. They're not watching their money, they're not working, they don't care. There is people on the board that care, but there is that have other motives or something, and it's not working. And
And
they,
it has to be unanimous vote on them to dissolve it, and I don't
Right.
think you're gonna get that either.
Yeah.
And you have some people on the board, I've heard them say it, they don't think that since they're not getting paid for that, but they're not really too. And the kind of worrying that you hear about.
I
I
told
don't
them
know that
they
if that's
failed,
correct, you know.
I told that board that they failed to do their duties because they let this money walk out, because they weren't overseeing that money. And one of the board members said, we're just here to make decisions, it's not our job. And I'm like, and you are personally liable for every penny that comes out of that,
And it's so important.
so.
And we may have to do an election anyway, so that's one of the things I was thinking of, because even if you dissolve the board, you have to have a way to redirect those funds. Unless you're going to create a new board, but the bad thing is that the whole proposition to begin with was just too specific. And so it didn't give you any leeway or any loopholes to be able to modify or change anything. It was very specific on who could act as board members.
Right.
So it may be a situation in order to recreate that or to transfer even the funds to something else, it may have to be voted on anyways.
Okay. And my understanding is once they vote to dissolve, the trust still sits there, but it's a default trust, and we can go to the state to have that money brought to the county. That was my
And if
understanding.
they have a process, we'll do that, that's, you know,
Right.
if we can work with them and find that out for sure.
But that was my understanding.
And that would be great, then
Yeah.
at least it would alleviate having to go through the whole process of.
I would like changing it, you know, so.
My main reason for wanting to wait is if it has to go to a vote of the people and it fails, then it's gonna stay the way it is.
Mhm.
So. I don't know, I would like to talk to those board members, I think, before I vote on it.
All right, well, we won't make any action with it. Then let's do this one. Prepare the fiscal year. Prepare the budget.
just signing contract for what we do.
Just a kind of an engagement letter, with Wilson Dodson and Associates to do the budget for the county.
For $4,510.
Yes. And that's, the temporary appropriations, and then we put all the numbers together, send them to the budget maker, and they put it in the budget book.
We're good. Make a motion to approve it.
We'll second it. All in favor, say aye. Gotta go down and talk to them.
Yeah.
They're good people.
Yes.
We go up to 15.
Go back to 15?
Yeah, sure, for WSB, because, did you get a chance to look over their contract
I'm sorry, how much one?
on number 15 for the,
WSB.
I'm still.
oh, you're still working on it? Okay,
I-
okay. Thank you.
This
You're
is,
welcome.
number 15. This is the
Number 17.
engagement letter for them to
Oh,
prepare the grant application. So
Yeah.
that was, that's what this is.
This is number 17.
No, number 15.
We were having her read over the contract for
Yeah,
15.
this is just to have them prepare the application for the county.
So what is that?
Oh, so we can't do the contract anyways.
Contract. I haven't seen that. Today's the first day I've.
Oh, it's a proposal. It's just a formalized version of the proposal.
Let's wait till she's done reading it and then we come back up to it.
Yeah.
Number 17, change resolution for 3450 road for the paved road payment.
There's a typo on this resolution, so instead of $150,000, you got $105,000.
Oh, it's,
We, just, if y'all will initial that there for me.
yeah, make motion to approve that.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve it. I was gonna try to get some of his money somehow.
I'll second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hey, you already doubled what I asked for.
Thank you.
All right, discussion possible action to approve a resolution to vacate a subdivision and make the property back into a single parcel.
That's me. The subdivision was created in 2003, and there's been 2 or 3 different owners now. We have just recently acquired it and I have no desire to make a subdivision. The reason it never happened was they couldn't get water from the city for all of that. And so they sold it. It's been changed a couple of times, and my wife and I actually closed on it last week. And our banker recommended getting it back into a single parcel ag, ag 1 or ag 2, whatever it might fall under.
Where is that?
It's in Craig, kind of just north of, it's west of town, about 2 3/4 miles, and back north on Wilzetta towards the lake.
Is there any utilities or anything buried inside there that we need to worry about having? If they've already put utilities in there, are we giving away their easements or?
I don't think, just dissolving that wouldn't supersede any easements.
That, in that road there that goes horseshoes like this, the house that's on it, on the, let's see, the east side is the main driveway to the house that sits there. And then the road to the west side, I mean, there's gravel there, but it's like, I don't think that was a county upkept, like there's gates that are locked, you know?
How many houses were sold in it?
There's none. Like there's just a house there that we live in, it's 43 acres.
Okay. That's weird. I've never thought about that happening. I don't know how to think about it.
Thinking about it, what is yours?
Yes, sir. We also own the property that it connects to.
Okay.
Back to the west side.
I think we need to look at it and just make sure that we're not.
I think the reason we want to do it is we're not gonna get any ag credit on the tax or our taxes is higher. It's just because it's zoned residential with a neighborhood or a subdivision name to it.
Yeah. Do we need to have somebody look at this and make sure that he does own all this though?
I've got all the mortgage inspections and stuff right here, if that's what you're.
I'm not smart enough to read it. So, that's what my question is.
That, the stuff that you're currently looking at was just printed off from the assessor's office when I walked out of here earlier, but that's all the stuff from the title company and what have you right there.
Yeah. Do you think we need to have somebody look at this and make sure he owns all the parcels that we're trying to take out of the metal? I don't want there to be one lot left in there that somebody else owns and then them not have a driveway to their place.
Right.
We're just kind of taking his word for it. I'm not calling him a liar, but
I totally understand where you're coming from, but
Yeah.
if that was the case, they haven't said anything in a week, you know, that.
Right. And we have this,
Yes.
are these all our copies here, or do you need?
There's those copies that you would make,
Yes.
yeah.
Alright. I guess if you can have your office do just
Yeah.
a property search
We can do that.
and then we'll just double check on the legality of what happens at, between here and there. Then we'll put it on the next agenda,
Which would be,
in a couple of weeks.
June 1st.
are they once a month or twice a
Twice
month?
a month. This is the last one, so it'll be June 1st.
Okay. They all at 9 AM.
Chazri's watching and she said she's already checked it all.
Oh, okay.
So
Transfer's already checked it all.
is that all right with you, Alicia? Chazri's already checked it.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
There we go. Yeah.
Perfect.
What number was that? 18.
18.
Yeah, 18.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution to vacate the subdivision.
And we'll set him at. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
So I need to leave all that with you guys or take file it somewhere else.
She'll need a original copy. And we'll get you copies of that. So,
You can give me your email address, I can,
Yeah. Here, I found, please.
is all of this going to be together, like you're filing this whole thing together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll need you to. It's the resolution. I'm trying to think how we're going to file it as a resolution and just a public notice to all. Is that what you would think?
Like an affidavit?
Kind of, yeah.
just notifying the public.
Yeah. And I need to keep the original,
That's
so can I have your email address or
Oh, I can write it down
what's your
for you.
phone number?
That's my wife's phone number. We
Okay,
can see it.
I'll call her after the meeting and we'll figure something out.
Okay,
All right,
thank you very much.
thank you.
You bet. Right, who's out, District 3 solid waste. Great.
Make the motion. Well, I don't think mine's not on there.
I thought we already closed yours out, we just added to it, but
Okay,
Which we're at,
we're doing number 19, closing out my solid waste committee.
it's just, closing out the grant account. That's what Belinda sent me.
Okay, just closing that, that's a garage.
Hmm.
All right, that's fine. I thought it was closing out the whole grant. I don't even know, sure, those,
I made it.
and second, all in favor, say aye.
Alright.
Discussion action regarding qualified employees for the intro home plan.
I asked to have that on there because Insure Oklahoma, is Melanie still, is Melanie?
She-
No, it's with the retirement,
Okay.
retirement.
There's the employees that qualify, it ends up not costing county,
Right,
and so one of the employees asked who would pay for their spouse. And I,
it doesn't cost their spouse anything either. Once they qualify and they put their spouse and their kids on there, it doesn't, they all qualify for intro home. We don't have to pay for them.
I don't have the plan right in front of me, I'm not 100% sure on that, I didn't look at it,
they told him it was gonna cost $100 and something for his wife.
Okay, and I can see a small amount, but. Cause it does cost us a couple dollars.
yeah.
So if it's saving, I mean, can we put a threshold? I mean, if it's still saving us $800. So if he qualifies, can we still spend that money and let his spouse and kids get on there with,
Well, his kids are gonna be on sooner care.
he actually doesn't have any kids left at home, so.
But the only concern I would have is treating one employee saying, yes, we're gonna pay for your spouse, but not pay for anybody else's spouse. And that's not gonna be taken real well. People don't care if it's Insure Oklahoma or if it's Blue Cross Blue Shield or whatever it is. It's just going to be
You're paying for his spouse.
yeah.
Would love to pay for all, be able to pay 900 extra for all the spouses, but we just can't afford that.
Well, not 900 extra, so we're still saving 800
Right. Yeah.
or seven something. I just wanna create all employees the same and spend the same amount on them.
And people don't see it like that. They see it as, why are you paying for his spouse and not for my spouse? I have to pay $900 out of pocket for my spouse. And why are you paying for his? They're not looking at the numbers like,
Yeah,
I'm not saying no, but I need to look into that a bit more than just make a decision.
okay.
So it would be nice to be able to do that for everybody, but. Well. You figure that out.
If we give somebody. Like the state gives you an X amount of dollars and you can buy yourself a really good plan, or you can buy you and your spouse a mediocre plan. With X amount of dollars.
Right, we give X amount of dollars to. If they give a certain amount that everybody can use,
Yeah,
but if you don't use it all, you don't get it.
yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with them. I mean, I'm not fine with it, but I understand that we can't give them the extra, but Why can't we amend our insurance program to say that we're gonna give you this much money to buy your insurance and you can buy what you want with it? And if he's able to buy his spouse's insurance from that and still save us $700, that would be a win for the county and for his family.
Cause I don't think it's set up that way. I don't think that it works that way.
We may have to wait till next year to do that.
Yeah,
When you say it's not set up that way, county in our handbook or?
I'm not real sure.
In order to have a spouse insured, you have to be insured.
Yeah,
And if
And
we're,
the county is supposed to provide the insurance or, not necessarily provide it, but,
the county is providing benefit for the employee.
yes,
And if we can do something by whatever, that's great, but that's not our primary focus. Our focus is to keep the employee healthy, to keep them alive. But that's exactly what, I know what you're saying, it just, I think either way, the taxpayer is spending money on that employee the same amount, it's just not coming out of the county's pocket. It's coming out of TSAC.
yeah.
I have to look up statutes. I know that there is some restrictions of what you can and can't do, but I'm not 100% sure on all of them. I just know that you treat your employees same across the board. And paying for one employee's spouse's insurance and not for everybody else, it's gonna be a problem.
I mean, I don't agree with it, but I hear what you're saying, and so let's treat them all the same and give them all the option to buy their spouse's insurance.
We do. Everybody has the option to buy their spouse's insurance.
Well, I'm saying with the allotted amount of money that we designate. If,
So give each employee 900.
if I want a lesser quality plan for myself with a higher deductible, and I can get my wife on there too with a lesser quality plan with a higher deductible and get both of us some coverage, then that's what I would want to do rather than have myself something I almost never
Well, we'll
use.
make that, we'll have to do that next year. Cause we've already got everything in place with the 2 plans that we gave them the options for.
It's already,
It's already.
Friday was the deadline for all of that.
Right, in order to make sure that we keep our insurance. But next year, we could look at adding a low cost, high deductible plan and do just that. I don't have a problem with that. But we'll have to get with HUB and
Okay,
really work through.
okay. I would like to look into it. We'll change insurance again.
Okay. We are at, can we do number 21? Declaration of surplus for District 1? Can I vote on that?
No, you cannot do it.
Okay,
Oh,
Not
sure,
until
election.
after an election.
yeah. But after,
Well,
well, when Will's here, it can be done, because you
Yes.
both will make that decision, I just can't vote on it.
right.
So we're done, the 911, approve a donation resolution for emergency management.
This is from Southbow, just stock the emergency response trailer. It's the same trailer that we used with all of the equipment we got for Swiftwater. Of course, we bought the Swiftwater before they made a decision on this, donation. Actually, this was months ago and really forgot about it and then, hey, guess what? We're awarding this to you. So they gave us 10,000. It's just to accept that money and then, buy supplies with it.
Nice,
For a disaster ready trailer.
good deal.
And you've already bought the trailer?
Oh, yeah, we already have all of that. We just needed the supplies for the trailer,
Okay.
which I mean, we have some hazmat stuff, we have swift water stuff, we have some search and rescue stuff. We just don't have all of it. I mean, it's pretty pricey on everything because obviously, you know, just a raft itself is not, you know, a boat per se, but we could even buy that with us if we want to. So,
Probably need to amend that then, because I thought it was for the purchase of a disaster ready trailer. It's actually for a purchase of the supplies. Okay, that needs to be amended then.
So do you wanna approve the amended one or wait and do it next week?
Well, if we get this done, then she can get her money
Yeah,
after today, so.
we
let's just
can,
Approve it with the new language.
approve it just based on the, based on those changes to purchase supplies for the disaster ready trailer.
That'll be my motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Alright.
Let's continue on, emergency management update and floodplain update before we get
So-
started. I'm gonna say thank you for all your hard work on 911. I know, told you to back off of it, but you still jump in head first and
I backed off a lot. I am gonna defend myself on that. I have worked 4 shifts in the last 2 weeks, helping train a new 911 dispatcher. But as far as doing as much as I have with the previous directors, I have not. It's very disheartening when you put a lot of time and effort into something and you're one of a few voices and get bypassed. So it is what it is, and we'll have that meeting today at 1:30, and I'll be able to voice my frustrations to the correct individuals, and I will get past that hurdle and we'll deal with it as we have to. But as far as emergency management goes, I did meet with the town of Tryon to get their emergency operation plans and going. They're gonna have a meeting with their town to see if they can get some volunteers to help out. I think one of the questions they asked was, what did emergency management do? And it kind of makes me chuckle when people ask that. It's because it's a shorter list of things that we don't do than versus things that we do. And after sitting with them for about an hour, I think that they started to realize that and how much help they're gonna need from their citizens in order to get the emergency management program off the ground. But always, I did tell them that, you know, they'd been on my radar for a while because I knew that they didn't have a municipal emergency management, so I was just waiting for them to reach out to see what they wanted and what their needs were. So I think we're gonna do good there. As far as weather goes, we do have a slight risk overnight tonight into tomorrow. If a storm kicks off, we're looking at very large hail damage winds and possibility of tornadoes, but however, I don't know that that's going to happen. I mean, everything, of course, will have to align. They're gonna launch a weather balloon at noon, so probably get some more data in to look at that and go over those readings. So just be weather aware this week. From Wednesday on is when we'll get most of our precipitation. There's a chance of rain, coming in after Wednesday. So as far as our state level goes, our state coordinator has been moved to the State Emergency Operations Center. We do have somebody that is filling in for our state coordinator position right now, but as far as the permanent position, I don't know who that's gonna be. We are also working on MOUs with surrounding counties because of the way that the state is going right now. Did meet with Creek County Emergency Management Director on Friday. And he has worked for the state emergency management for quite a few years. I think it was like 12.5 years. So he's gonna come in and we're gonna collaborate and do some training here in Lincoln County for our first responders, so that's good. We're also gonna do an MOU with Potawatomi County. Have talked to their emergency management director on a pretty consistent basis, so that's a good thing for us, you know. If we need anything, it's better to rely on our surrounding counties anyway, it gets here quicker, so. Other than that, I think that's it. Do have a lot going on right now, obviously, So if I forgot anything, forgive me. So we'll figure out how it goes from here.
All right.
So
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Well, anything else there?
I am gonna go ahead and exit for a little bit, some other stuff done. Okay, okay,
Go do your thing.
thank you.
Thank you. Wait a minute.
I do have the contract ready.
Oh, you do?
I was gonna let you guys know as well, but I recently found out that I have a cousin of mine that works here. I don't think that there's any conflict or anything, because I don't have anything to do with, or any interaction as far as the work that they're performing or doing. And I definitely didn't use it in holding back on the changes that I wanted made, so, but I did look through there and I did make some changes. And if you're agreeable to it, if you'll initial the top line everywhere where I've made changes, and then there's the 2 tab spots as well.
You said you have a cousin that works for WSB?
I'm for not cousin, my sister-in-law.
Well, nobody likes your sister-in-law, do they?
Wow. Here recently, because she said something about seeing a truck of theirs or a vehicle of theirs going by, and I was like, wait, I think I've heard that before. But like I said, I have no interaction as far as her work or anything, any dealings with the county as well. And I did it with the 2 lines so that the chairman can sign one line and then the company can sign the other line. Or initial.
That's the only changes. That the only changes made was just to say. Oh,
And it's just the standard stuff that I'll take out of other contracts as well. And if it's something that we need to just come up with some other language or modify it, you know, we can do that as well.
You all have a ability to sign, DocuSign documents. Cause I could take this back and have the legal team edit it, pull out the things that you've crossed out and then send it over to you to sign via DocuSign. That would be,
Well, we can sign that one. As long as we initial it and sign it,
okay.
you know, if you guys get yours, well, it's fine, but it's just some of the liability stuff, you know, what you got.
And don't forget this.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, here you go. I don't need. No, I'm already, so. Just letting you. This back, yeah.
should have, we can set it back out and do that, I'm getting that to work.
Okay.
First.
And I can give you my email address, because if they do have some changes as well, because they can always just bring it back.
Just, I think that's what, yeah, because if you say anything that's in this, I get told you sign it, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the proposal with WSB with the amended changes.
One second that, all in favor, say aye.
Alright.
Addition.
I think that initials for WSB, so I just sign as an end.
Are we both initialing this or
Well,
just
no, I just need you to initial the chairman.
just need me? Okay.
Yeah, and the intention is that the other line is
For
for,
WSB?
yeah.
That's all.
Commissioners, I have a question for you. Because this grant will require your signature on some of the forms and documents prior to the deadline, which is May 26th. I know there's not another meeting planned for this month. How will we coordinate that?
Well, we've already approved contract, we've already approved going out for that, so I don't see why we can't just, as long as it stays within the scope of contract, why we can't digitally sign those things.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll make a motion to do anything like that. We don't have an agenda item to talk about it, I guess, but
Well, she said that this was her, I'm trying to find the language real quick.
her proposal,
Yes.
that under that, your proposal of signing digitally. I would make a motion to allow Chastity to be able to handle all that with our input.
Yeah, or just, or approve the proposal, based on potential, I guess, changes between the attorneys or,
Right.
and approval, you know, he reviewed the changes and approval
Yeah.
or something like that.
He's talking about other grant, other goals.
Sorry.
Like the grant application documents, like the SF 424 forms,
Right.
those, letter of commitment that's gonna say we support this grant.
But that's part of the application process, right?
Yes,
Cause
so,
it says application.
right, so I think we should let Chester do it, and anything that's signed, we just bring to the next future meeting for.
Okay,
public
thank you so much,
disclosure.
appreciate it.
You go to that?
Yep.
That was my motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.
So to clarify, you made a motion on item 15.
A. What's that? Yes.
Is that how you have it?
That's what I just wrote down.
Okay.
Well, that's an hour. 45 minutes. Okay.
So you made the motion to approve that proposal, and I made the motion to approve her doing the deal.
Okay,
It's the way it works, so.
works.
So
we don't need this one.
no, cause it's part of that.
Okay.
It's a weird, just saying that, unless you
Same
need,
thing.
unless you need another copy.
No, it should be fine.
Are there any minutes you wanna go over?
No.
Well, moving on to a P card
I'd
form,
say I do. I have a couple of sets of minutes from the ambulance board.
okay,
I'll email those to you.
Yeah,
Bring
please
them
do.
with me.
P card approval form,
Get the motion to approve that.
I'll second. Favor say aye. Might be possible, the P card saved us a lot of money. Being able to reach out and buy stuff.
You, like that's for American Airlines? For 265, 4 or 5 times? To pick up an inmate?
If it would do it in North Carolina,
How come why was there 5 charges to do that?
Say it again.
There's 5 charges for $265 to American Airlines. Was there,
Alicia's seen all the purchases on the board. You know what they are? I mean, there's food and stuff, is that part of that?
No, they're all the exact same amount.
You have to send 2 officers, right? 2 down there, 3 back.
2 deputies and brought in a back, matter of fact, we gotta do it
Oh.
again, DA's office, had somebody. On a child molestation case, we gotta bring back.
Okay.
So
I
2
wish there
deputies
was a
flew
better
down.
way of
3
doing
flew
it.
back.
Yeah, two deputies flew down and then 2 deputies and the inmate. flew back.
Coming back. So when you figure having to drive that far, highest fuel, gotta spend a couple nights, they get there, they get back, and then they have a wreck, I mean, a million things go wrong, your car break down. I mean, it's probably cheaper and safer to just fly out, bring them back, and it's an all-day process still.
We couldn't find marshals to do it for us.
They won't do it unless it's a federal bill, so they won't do them for these. I tried that. Wish it would.
Yeah.
It was public drunk, we wouldn't worry about it, but, you know. Somebody molesting kids and stuff, I mean, they need to pay, they get some closure, you know. The last one was a OBN case, so.
Well, that should have been a federal drug charge right there. That should have been a federal drug charge right there. The marshals would have done it.
Not. OBN's not Fed.
Trying to help you out here.
The Fed doesn't have any issues apparently, marijuana grows and stuff like that, so.
Right. All right, let's go on to monthly reports.
There's no easy way to make that work.
To approve the monthly reports.
I'll say, all in favor, say aye.
Alright. I've never saw this before, but an Australian animal. And there's $4,700 on hand.
It's on there every month.
It is? I've never seen that. So is that in the sheriff's department or?
Mhm. When they sell cows and stuff, if they have that are unclaimed or just turn up on someone's property.
It hasn't happened or yet, but.
Mhm.
Where the folks live, but are.
All right, we should have some transfers. Make a motion of the transfers.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those two names. That's the biggest Sam's Club receipt I've ever seen.
That's how I like to read them.
I didn't need my glasses for that one.
Fund estimate of needs.
Oh, shit, prove
Yeah, one second that, all in favor say aye.
that.
We need one.
I have it, so you can.
Does it? Or it does. Yeah, I'm sick. I've been freezing all, I'm never cold in here. It's just like freezing me out. Y'all cold over there? Is it cool?
Good.
Maybe I don't know why I care. It's kind of like humidity air, but it's like, oh my.
I like things good.
I'm not sleepy. Be cold.
I'm not, oh.
Have you got the hump marks?
I'm a whip today. I apologize. It's cold.
You wanna go to the jail and get you one of those blankets?
Hey. We're almost to the end. I think I still got a couple things on new business. I'll already be out.
We'll get you a wool blanket.
Allergic to wool. Probably break out in a rash. I'll freeze. Terrible. Allergic to wool. Wool. Sure. It's some sensitive.
Down here in the spot.
We never talk almost have. We can go like that, go or. But they can have you like 4 o'clock, they can go. That'd be a huge. So. This is when you get to see them.
I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for being so welcoming. This is not my jam, but I'm learning, but thank you for being so welcoming. Yeah. I have to get to a appointment in Oklahoma City, so thank you for coming. Well, have a blessed rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.
It's just still moving strong.
Yeah.
Is our building fund in there still?
It was, I think I saw it somewhere. Commissioners annual, administrative manager. For sure, yeah, so.
Then we can get a grant to build a 911 center and use that with what we was doing.
Change. Not sure.
Thank you. On the WSD. I'll scan it in when I get back to the office and city's out for food, but that was Amber, wasn't it? Yes.
Blankets,
Make the motion to approve blankets.
second that. Well, bigger sheet, isn't it?
Aye.
The title company has been working on that vacation as well.
Okay,
That's who was asking about it and so they do that.
we never vacated like a subdivision, so I'm trying to figure out.
Stacy did some research on life and forward you the email sheet.
Okay,
Do we have any payroll affidavit?
affidavit.
Then it's on forward. I make a motion.
What was your second? So I guess we second.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Aye.
All right.
You'd be bored.
An hour later, it's.
Yeah.
That you said you would,
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think it's we could put on our shelves.
Yeah, okay, then.
I didn't know it was gonna be noisy, that's, I was trying to send you, so we go up there, on email.
Okay.
And show the shower. We're gonna touch that thing. Oh, look good?
Yeah.
Well, fires.
Do you want me to put it on the screen?
Yeah, man. Okay. Those are before and after pictures too, like that, right?
We're on Facebook and saw your hamburger and hot dog thing and I was like, I didn't have my glasses. I was like, I think he's got the wrong dates on there. So I went to find my glasses and when I got on there, then I could see it was, I think you caught it and changed it.
Right, yeah, well, it was, both of them said Tuesday, it's like, no, can't look that way.
Yeah.
But it ought to be fun.
Yeah. What are you cooking them on?
Flat top.
Can I bring about 70 inmates so they can try something different, Dave? They might have no bird.
Yeah, the inmates out there, they can cook.
Are they registered voters?
Well, maybe not. I don't know. We have a lot better.
I'll make a motion to approve payroll.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. I don't know how we should have paid so much more than it is.
But
I said, I still don't know how you get paid so much more than we do.
I work hard.
I should get paid a lot more, I put it with the
Yeah.
husband. Interest rate on. And this. Which one?
Are we good with him, Kevin?
Think so. Curveballs, a little bit. No real curveballs over the weekend, but that's good.
That's good.
Questions?
No,
Did you get the email that I got all those mapped and sent out videos?
It's not, but I'll look.
Okay. They're up to date through today and, in that link, you can hover over any of the crossing dots and it'll give you all the contact information and what's there.
Oh, okay, great.
that's on that.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
But good.
That'll help out a lot. Well, do we have any claims?
I bet there's a couple.
There are 2 claims in last fiscal year for the Fair Barn roof.
Oh, okay, awesome. And there was another claim we were gonna talk about.
What?
There was another claim that we were gonna talk
The
about.
Fair Barn roof.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They sent in the, contract or the warranty from the manufacturer and had everything ready, so opted to pay them.
I think I left the warranty on your desk.
So we're gonna pay the full amount, we're gonna
You mean-
penalize them anything?
I don't know, and the fair board was okay with it. I mean, they were,
You can find it.
maybe 20 or 30 days outside of their contract. With some weather, and we didn't try to even count weather days, just, I mean, he kept it open for business and worked around everything and everything passed the inspections, so.
I was gonna email it to you. I'll email it to you. You'll just go print those off for me.
You email it to me.
Hmm,
You emailed it to me.
I didn't hear you.
You emailed it to me.
Yes. And then if you'll just print off 3 copies of it, of each one of them.
The humidity is so bad.
They said at that camp race today, they could be some bad weather. For sure. Going down west, coming our way.
Need some rain.
Yeah, we just need the rain.
No tornadoes.
We need the rain on it, not the rest that goes with that. What they're talking. Pretty good.
I'm gonna leave this one on top because it still needs all of those.
Yeah, really nice. Yeah, have you seen that guy that do all the fire department? I heard about it.
Yeah.
This part of the
What's that? A
world.
music festival in Albuquerque. And I feel my age. So
6,500 acres or something like this.
9-hour drive.
Right now.
there, and then a 9-hour drive.
What was that?
It was a 9-hour drive just to get down there.
That might be 65,000.
We were about a month ago, they just contacted to get
Tumbleweed.
service
I
for.
agree.
Tumbleweeds out there.
An hour ago. That was 2 weeks after I had my hip replaced.
Yes, sir. Thanks to some of the destroys
I was like, I won't do that
Market
again.
out and they pull it all off. Yes, this is yeah.
The dog do okay coming back?
Oh, yeah.
Someone is still at 5 o'clock,
Excellent.
like for a, says windbreak in the house. Full
He's really laid back.
And then on the other side of it, we just.
This is Marlon's signature.
10 foot high.
Hard to imagine.
It's a different, okay.
Okay.
You that stuff all in my hands and then. Oh, I don't have to do it. They prove it all that, I think,
Did y'all have to sign every one of them?
every single one of them.
Wow.
That's all you heard was one of those snappers going. Yeah, what? Standing back here with the that's right. And big stacks. Well, we only paid once a month. Yeah. That's everything was going on. Not everybody's just looking at computer deal.
Technology.
Yeah, always a lot different, sure. She still got hers, so I can hear it clicking.
There's some lady here, Marisol, to see you. I know, I told her it'd be a few minutes. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Did you want, I will check.
Thank you.
There any new business?
Yeah. You know, as, being the manager of your jail, I want to show you a little video that Claudio did. We're, you know, north and south is the one that's in the process of getting original. This is east and west. This is actually gonna be east, I believe. And, we've done a little touch-up painting. The bathrooms, which have been a nightmare, we're waiting to do some epoxy on it. We'll have it updated like the newer ones are. And Thursday at 9 o'clock, the health department's inspector that does jails will be here. So hopefully we get north and south blessed and we can use it. It's gonna take a little bit longer on the solitary cells and that detention grade ceiling that they're putting in. They started today. Hopefully June the 1st. I mean, this has been a 17-month project of my life since I've been here. But anyway, if Chandler wrote this, I mean, we've written and painted it back in January, but they touched it up again. It looks a lot better. I think this is the one that shows the shower. And it is night and day. Yeah, intercom. But the walls look better. They like the drawing. It doesn't have it. There's a picture of the old shower.
Yeah, there's a picture of the old shower.
Trying to think where he sent that to me at. But it really does look good. Power washed it. That's what it looked like when we started. So we're gonna take that one metal door off. One of the other deputies as a welder is gonna be putting the bar up high. Or we'll have like a shower curtain in there. And it's going to be a lot nicer. And you remember one of the shower boxes that they bought when we were gonna remodel the other shower? That didn't work or wasn't what they needed. We actually put it in one of those sides and then redid, added about 7 concrete blocks. There was a big hole, you know, where the shower was, got it all looking nice and it's gonna be a whole lot nicer.
Good deal.
Also bought a new fridge and a freezer. One been broke for a while, can't seem to get anybody that can fix it. And, I didn't know Lowe's sold commercial grade wash or refrigerators and freezers. 5-year warranty for $300, probably the best $300 we ever spent, because hopefully we don't have to deal with any more maintenance issues on those kind of items. But other than that, Thursday at 9,
All right.
hopefully we get that open, we'll get those inmates back from Payne County and, it'll help. Definitely gonna help.
Does the fire marshal's office have to reissue a certificate of occupancy for that area?
We'll have to ask.
So they'll probably.
I haven't seen anything, have you?
Mhm.
That
I
should-
mean, they're reviewing plans, but
Joe, up for both years, both fiscal years.
Yes, we just finished that. I was just it said we already signed it, but I marked it as approved, so.
Okay,
Here it is, I got it down there.
it was one that, it was a partial pay, because we paid part of it at first.
Make a motion to adjourn. Oh, wait, was Kevin done with his?
Here's one business, this is gonna show the finish in. I thought it was a picture, he likes sending videos for some reason. Claudio does. And if it gets there quick enough,
To
approve just-
number 34.
did a lot of kill, getting out of the mold in there, I mean, it's not terrible.
That's quite.
Did you send it to me?
Again, okay. I'm just waiting on it. There it is.
You think when you're that close, it takes that quick to get there, but it takes a minute.
Gotta go to China first.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what the walls look like now. That was after. Gonna change the light out to one that is motion, and then also gonna put a vent above the door, exhaust vent. And hopefully that'll make that. Compared to what it looked like, that is night and day. I mean, it really looks nice, so. And that was the problem, last time the health department came by. And we tried to put some stuff on the floor that didn't work. His suggestion was that the undercoating for vehicles and, but the epoxy will work.
All right.
It's expensive, but it's gonna last for a long time.
Sounds good.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I say that, we'll finish it on.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Yeah. We need a third one.
Yeah. Well, somebody moved it around, like, you look like a bad guy.
Have we gone, hey, Chastity, have we gone live on the new website?
No, I was actually gonna ask you that because after you mentioned it, if you want, I can send the link to Alicia, have her review all the information and see if she likes it. And then all I have to do is reach out to Apprentice and tell them to switch it over or release the domain for it.
So we haven't gone live with the website yet, it's not on the net.
So we'll do it now.
Okay, I think the categories